Hey guys, in this episode, I am going to show you all of the new weapons, and I'm going to show it to you now. And if you watch me with the gray shirt, it is going to be all updated information. In the middle of this video is going to be not as updated information, or it's going to be basically when they first released the weapons, and it's still really good information, but some of the weapons have been tweaked. So you got to keep in mind, if I'm got a different color shirt on, then it's maybe there has been a change, and we'll try to edit out some of those changes, but there might be a few things that I mentioned about how good it'll be for PvP or not good for PvP, and you just have to factor in some of those. I might be saying that and that's true, but then I might say something else that factors in something that's changed. So I'm going to go ahead and start out by showing you all the weapons and tell you how they changed, and then when you watch that part of the video where I really talk about how it implements how it's going to be implemented into the game, it's going to make a lot more sense to you. So, okay, so here we are. This is the research team account, and I'm just going to grab. I've gotten a lot of these weapons, so here we go. So we're going to first talk about the Dragon Bite. It has made a little bit of a change. It used to do. So basically, it does more DPS than the Dragon Bow, but not much more, okay? It's just a little bit more. I don't think this is actually a change, okay? I don't think they changed the bow. So everything you see in this video is going to be, I'm not going to repeat anything because I already say it in the video. Okay, so this dagger does 61 DPS, which I think is upgraded from the video. I'm going to show it to you in the video, so if it's upgraded. But you can see here the Grey Cutter, the Cutter of Grey Clan does 62.5 DPS, okay? And this does 61.1, so it's a little bit less, but that -8 armor, you hit it, and then that second hit is going to do way more damage. So everything I say in this video is actually still correct. About like the bandit being amazing and all that stuff, but it is important to note something I found out is that the piercing dagger and the dragon dagger have stacking armor piercing. Okay, so you can actually reduce their armor by 12 with the piercing dagger and reduce it further by 8 with the dragon dagger. So you can actually, like Gorgon, it's like the Gorgon killer, you also want to have a piercing dagger. You're going to want to. Probably what's going to happen is you're going to have one of both. You're going to be the dagger guy. You come in with the piercing dagger, and then you switch over to the dragon dagger, and you just wail on them. Unless you got two people that are both doing daggers, then you can use it. And then you can go to Grey Cutter, which does 1 DPS, 1 damage per second more. So it's nothing to write home about, but it is. Now, there is something worth noting is sometimes there are certain mobs that you can get a certain amount of attacks in, and then you run away and you have to waste some time. Well, this does more damage per hit. So if you're able to do 2 hits with this and then run away, and 2 hits with this and then run away, which is theoretically possible, their attack speed is not that far off, then the Dragon Dagger will actually do more, even though it seems like it has less DPS. If you can do 2 hits, that's going to do 110, whereas 2 hits with this is just 100. So you got to factor in, am I doing the same amount of hits before I have to run away, like I'm doing a stone giant or something like that? And if that's the case, then the Dragon Dagger is going to be better. So it's a really cool addition to the game because these are basically comparable. They're still both useful. The Dragon Bow is never going to be as good as the Dragon Bite, but it's still going to be a weapon that we use often because it's almost as good. It's a purple weapon, but this weapon is going to be amazing, especially if you're in a tomb. So not only does it do more damage, 55.6 versus 53.3, but it also does more damage than the Firebow. The Firebow does 54.7. And so it does a little bit more, and then if you have that plus 15% damage, then you're getting into like Wrath Staff numbers. So the Dragon Bite in a tomb, it's not always that we're going to be fighting in a tomb, but if you're an archer in a tomb and someone comes at you and you know they're a good player, they're going to dispel and it's going to mess up your firebow, it would actually be better to have a dragon bite fighting them. You're going to be able to do that. Armor is going to reduce the damage, but a dispel can't stop you from doing that a lot of damage. So the dragon bite is definitely going to be a really good bow to have if you're in a tomb, obviously, because that's its bonus. Okay, but I don't want to repeat too much of what I'm going to say in the video itself. The dragon shield and sword, they didn't really change it. I mean, the DPS is 1 higher, but it doesn't really affect anything I say in this video because everything's still true about what I say in this video. The dragon combat staff, everything I say in this video seems to also be true. 56.7 is I don't think they changed it. And I wish, actually, this is the one that I wish they would. Actually, I don't know if I wish they had changed this. Maybe make it maybe 25%. But what they really need to change is the ice mage. The ice mage is weak. Please buff the ice mage. And then the dragon support staff, it doesn't look like they made any changes. So everything I say in this video, which is a lot, this dragon support staff completely changes PvP in Frostborn. And so anyways, watch the video. I talk all about why this support staff changes the game. But the biggest change that they made, and it was such a good change that they made, was they changed the dragon sword. The dragon sword sucked. And in this video, I talk about how bad the dragon sword is. Well, that is no longer the case. Rather, if you look here on my main OBT account, you can see that the new dragon sword has been crazily increased. So it now has 65 DPS, which is amazing. But more than that, it does 72 damage. So a sneak attack with the dragon sword is going to be absolutely insane. So you can see here the cleaver does 58.3. The Giant's Hammer does 54.2. And I think the Giant's Hammer will still be used some because of that stun, but it has definitely lost some of its touch. The Skull Claws do about 65 DPS, so it's about the same as the Dragon Sword, but the Dragon Sword has a chance of doing that critical, which is not something you can really depend on. And then, of course, there's the Protector Spear, which no one really uses. So you got the Dragon Sword. It is a game changer. Like, this is it is now the new highest damage dealing melee weapon in the game. So let's go switch over to Thrasher. So basically, this weapon is going to be the one aspect of this video that doesn't really apply the most. There's going to be a few different tweaks, but everything I say in this video is going to be awesome, except for what I say about this sword. So hopefully the editors will be able to cut probably a lot about what I say about this sword, and then at the end, you'll see the gray shirt again, and it'll be me using this sword, and it'll kind of like finish off the video with updated information about how this sword is going to affect the game. The first thing we're going to start out with is just talking about the Nord Sword and Shield versus the new Dragon Sword and Shield, or Shield and Sword. It's very similar. So you can see here that the Nord Sword and Shield does 55 damage at a 0.91 attack speed with a 50 DPS. This one has a little bit less attack, but you attack at a 1 attack speed, and it ends up having a 51 DPS. So already it makes you do a little bit more damage. That's not the biggest reason to have a sword and shield is the DPS. It's kind of lower DPS, but it is important to note that this does do more damage or more DPS. Not quite as much with each hit, but almost as much. The bigger deal is that it has 1 extra armor plus 6 extra damage aura. And I already mentioned this in the video, but it does affect you when you have that damage aura. So you can see right now my armor is 88. And even though this gives 18 armor and this gives 19 armor, it actually is going to increase it by 7 because it's also got that awesome damage, or that aura. So everyone on the team is getting an extra... whoa, what just happened? Oh, I don't get the aura while I'm in the world map. Okay, that was weird. Okay, this is kind of dumb. I hope I don't get attacked by anyone because I have all 6 weapons on me. But we're going to go for it. Okay, so here we are in the zone. You can see here we got 88 armor, and then we flip over to here, and now we have 95. So it goes up by 7 because of that aura. And you can see here that I've got this little aura, which I would be giving to my teammates. They get an extra 6 armor. It looks really cool. I mean, look how freaking amazing that looks compared to, you know, this. You know, it's cool. Or, I mean, let me turn up the graphics real quick. I'm not sure why the graphics got so low. All right, high quality. This sword has always been cool, right? It's a Nord sword and shield. It's a Viking sword and shield. It looks cool. But then when you flip over to this thing, look at that. Oh my goodness, it looks so cool. Okay, let's turn up the sound. Why isn't my sound working? Okay, never mind. Ignore the sound. So look how cool that is. Okay, let's kill something. Let's see how cool it looks. Oh, I love just walking around in it, you know, like it just looks so cool. If someone were to kill me right now, they would get every single dragon weapon in the game. That would suck so bad for me and be so amazing for them. Boom! 200 damage. Okay. Alright, let's kill this guy. 71 damage. Oh, I love it. Okay, I have a instigator gear on, so I do a little bit extra damage. Okay, so that's the Nord sword, or that's the dragon shield and sword. It's really cool. And it's going to be the new protector's like dream weapon. They're going to be so happy to have them because it's going to give them a lot more armor, 7 more armor. It's going to allow their whole team to be a little tankier, which makes it easier for them to do their job, easier to get to someone and taunt away from them because, you know, they're not quite as squishy. And then it does a little bit more DPS, so they're going to be able to hit just a little bit harder. Again, not much, 1 extra DPS. It's really not much to even think that much about. In fact, some players might prefer the Protector because you get that 1 hit and it does a little bit more damage. And sometimes you only get 1 hit as a Protector. You're really just trying to... So it may actually be better to have the Protector, Sword and Shield for your damage, but as a tank, your main job is to be a defense, and it is a really good shield for that. Okay, next on the list is the Dragon Bite. Okay, so this weapon is so interesting because you can see here that I have 15% damage. It's not activated right now because I'm in the zone. So if I attack in the zone, it doesn't count. But if I go into this tomb, voila! Oh wow, someone's already in here. I need to be careful. Look at that, plus 15%. It now does a crazy amount of DPS. Okay, I'm actually a little nervous. Who has been grinding in here? And are they still in here? I don't see anyone. Someone's going for points, maybe? Oh, there they are. Hi, guys. Hello. Some 2 random players. Y'all want some help? I could kill both of those guys if they went green, if I red, so. Alright, I'm gonna help you out. You see me just one-shot that guy? 92 damage? Look how cool that bow shot is. It's all yours, guys. Y'all take it. I'm just going to clear it for you. Oh my gosh, look how cool that bow shot is. Oh. All right, y'all have the tomb. I'm proud of you guys. Y'all free-to-play players. I'm assuming that just because I'm in a tomb, I get that bonus. So if these guys went red on me, I would just be able to slaughter them because I have that extra damage. Okay, but one of the big questions that I have about this bow is, do I get it in Odin's? Because technically, Odin's is not a tomb, so I would say no. But Odin's does kind of feel like a tomb, so who knows? Maybe the devs were like, sure, it can count. I don't think so because, well, I don't know. I don't know what it would be. But, man, how cool is that arrow shot? So let's go real quick, and let's just check out, if we go into Odin's, do we get that bonus? Okay, just to double check before we get in, we're going to click on it. No bonus. It should be green and say plus 15% and be green if it were to count. So we are now going to check here. And it does not count. Okay, that is what we figured. That is what we thought. But I just wanted to make sure just in case. But it does work in tombs. And so it's the tomb bow. It's so specific. This bow, there is no weapon in the game that is this specific. You can use it for tombs. And but honestly, it's got really good durability. It's got really good DPS. It's a pretty amazing bow. And it looks so cool. So I would say it's still worth it. It's so cool looking. Okay, so we're back in... no, this is a solo zone. So we actually do need to be careful because this is not the same zone that I was just in. And people are clearly grinding here. This is crazy. I've never seen so many people grind in the closed beta. So let's see. Illusionist. Okay, we might switch over to the Illusionist here in a second. I just want to see if there's anyone. Oh my gosh, I'm a little nervous. I do not want to lose my gear. Okay, we're going to get on our wolf. That makes us just a tad safer if someone shows up and tries to attack us. I don't think there's anyone in this zone. Any mobs left. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they're red or not. He died. What the heck? Okay, so we're going to see if the Ice Mage has changed at all. I doubt he has, but... Come here. No, it hasn't changed. Okay, so you can see here... Let's see what this guy had. Nothing great. So you can see here that this weapon, so the DPS on it is not as good as an Odin's, or as a Wrath Staff. So you got to factor in that this is not going to be the best weapon for a Fire Mage. But I am going to switch over. Hello. I am going to switch over to the Illusionist because I do think it might be the best weapon for the Illusionist. I definitely think it's the best weapon for the Ice Mage, but the Ice Mage still just kind of sucks, Maybe if you were really good... No one likes the Ice Mage. So we're going to switch over to the Illusionist, and we're going to play around with this guy. Okay, so we're going to throw down... We're going to activate his skills first. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we threw down our skill. That's okay, but honestly... So normally his skill would be every 60 seconds. And Alright, let's help this guy out. Normally it'd be every 60 seconds. Let's see what the blink is. 43. 50-second cooldown. 1 minute cooldown. So reducing it by 15 definitely makes a big difference. I mean, it reduces, but that's not something you would use in a fight. You know what I mean? So let's go back to the Ice Mage, because I really think the Ice Mage is the only mage in which this staff is going to be good for, for someone. I think that guy thought I was going to go in aggressive mode. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's keep going. Alright, I'm going to use that skill. So yeah, okay, the Ice Mage is definitely the way to use this staff, because I just used that ice skill, and look how quickly it's coming back. It's coming back pretty quickly. The staff does okay damage. Look, I already got the ice bolt. So now I'm going to wait a few more seconds. And I'm going to get this guy on that ice bolt. 78 damage is pretty good. And my skills are going to come back in this fight, kind of, but barely, honestly. Yeah, I'm not even in this fight will it come back. So, yeah, you can have it. You can have it. Take it. So, yeah, I'm just not impressed with this staff. Not because it's not cool to reduce cooldown by 15%. DPS is so important to a mage. So unless you're going to reduce the cooldown by like 30% or maybe even 50%, I just don't see it being worth it. I mean, that's my opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Are y'all think you're going to use this staff? I don't think and maybe it doesn't matter, right? Maybe we can't have every dragon weapon be the best weapon in the game. That'd be kind of lame. We want to have some fire weapons better. So I wanted it to be an alternative staff for one of the mage classes, but I just don't know if it's going to be the alternative staff for any of them, even the ice mage, which makes the most sense. I think they would have to reduce the cooldown by like 30 to 50%, and then it might be OP. I don't know. So, no, I don't think it would. I honestly don't think it would be OP. Oh, the archmage. I didn't even think about the archmage. Let me think about the archmage for a second. The thing is the archmage is going to use the dragon support staff. That's the thing, because the dragon support staff is freaking overpowered, or it's at least does poison damage. Oh, I didn't even think about the archmage using the support staff. Okay, guys, so this is my second favorite weapon. The Nord Sword and Shield is my favorite, or not the dragon sword and shield. But this is my second one, and it is because it is... Oh my gosh, look, do you see how much damage I just did? Holy moly. 40% with any extra... Okay, let's find a giant. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, 97 damage with an archmage. I love this staff, it's so powerful. Okay, and it's got cool effects. Okay, we just killed that bear, and look at that. It's doing 10 damage per second. It is against an enemy, and I do have Instigator gear, so it's going to amplify a little bit. Just killed Killer Nano. That was a real player. Oh, well, let's see if he comes back to fight me. Okay, so you can see here that it does poison damage, which, is just like the fire bow. Anytime you do true damage to someone, it's really powerful. And so now normally a normal mage can't use this weapon. Okay, so the fire mage can't use it. But I didn't think about the archmage. The archmage is so powerful with it. So I'm going to switch over to the sorcerer though, because I think the sorcerer would be even more powerful with it. You can see plus 60% damage with any staff support. And then you can actually, against players, increase that by 40%. So right now, I've got plus 60% on this attack. All right. You just see that? I did 128 damage. That's a lot of damage. Okay, let's go into this tomb. Guys, this is insane damage for the support class. Because having 55.6 damage plus 8 poison damage, that is going to match, even if something has no armor, that is going to match the damage of an Odin staff. Now, obviously, you can buff this damage of, like, I keep calling it Odin staff because that's what it used to be called, the Rast staff. Now you can buff that damage. So the fire mage with a Rast staff is going to do so much extra damage. But now this is crazy. I mean, we're talking about, look at that. I just one-shotted that guy with poison damage. So, okay, we're going to do this. 144 damage. 144 damage. It's amazing. $144 damage a shot is crazy, guys. That's crazy. 120. The effects of this thing look so cool too. Hola. Is that one of the guys I met earlier? See. All right. I love this staff. It's so powerful. It's so ridiculously powerful, guys. Just die already. Okay. I mean, but the bigger deal is this is gonna shred through someone's armor, just kind of like the firebow does. This is the firebow for the support class and for the archmage. I think it's going to be more powerful in the archmage than anything else. No, honestly, the sorcerer is powerful. Let's see what the shaman. The shaman also gets 40% extra damage, but the shaman has that scare, and it has the crowd control of the stun that you can kind of use. So, you know, it's not going to be able to compete. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's so powerful. All right. I think that the shaman is now a legitimate solo PvP option, and I think that the archmage is too. That's something I've missed in previous videos. I think I forgot that this ability to do poison damage is now available to the archmage as well, and it's a very good staff. I mean, 55 DPS plus 8. I mean, can you give me a gift? Oh, people want a gift. Here, you can have this stuff. All right, let's keep moving. Let's go somewhere else. These guys are, you know, they're cool, but I want to focus on these weapons. So honestly, guys, I am just blown away right now by this staff. I knew it was going to be good. I think it makes the shaman a viable 1v1 now. I think it makes the archmage a really powerful 1v1 now, and it's going to make the archmage. Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about this. The archmage can have this staff, and the healer can still keep the health staff, which will allow the whole team to still get bonus. And if you do a healer archmage, so even if you go regular meta, you can still add this staff. And this is going to be, you know, it's not going to be quite as much damage as a Wrath staff, but having that poison damage, an archmage, and then an archer doing poison and fire while you've got your, you know, your protector with this shield, and then the health staff making everyone do more damage and have more armor. And I'm pretty sure, now we'll need to check this. Let me see if I can get Astro on, or... Okay, so the thing that I want to check that I'm not going to check right now, but I'm going to check for you guys as soon as I can, is whether or not Hell's staff can stack with the new Dragon Shield and Sword. That would be important to note, because obviously that definitely makes it not nearly as good if they can't work together. In fact, I kind of hope they can't work together, because then it really does make it to where you're going to want your support staff to be the poison damage if you're going dragon play. Okay, going into Desperate Foothills, we're going to go as the bandit, because this next weapon is going to be the new best PvP weapon for the bandit. This is going to be the best weapon for the bandit because, and okay, this is not going to help. Look at that, 90, okay. So the bandit does an extra 30% damage with weapons, but it does 40% extra damage against an immobilized enemy. So let's take this wood giant. I'm assuming I'll still do 98 damage. And now we're going to let him use the skill. And we're going to immobilize him. And then you can see we did 127 damage, which, oh crap, I totally forgot. Okay, we screwed this up. Okay, we need to find another giant. But it is pretty cool how the attacks on this, it's like the sword. It's just so cool looking. Okay, so here's another giant. What we're going to do is we're going to immobilize it and we're going to attack it twice. In fact, I might go ahead and attack it once and then immobilize it and then attack it as many times as I can. Because the key with this weapon, and the reason why this is going to be the best for the bandit, is just the DPS itself is pretty much the same as the Great Cutter. It's just a little bit less, but it reduces their armor by 8 when you hit them. So that's going to make it to where you're going to do a lot more damage. I'm about to show you. So here we go. We're going to attack this giant, and I'm going to attack it, immobilize it, and attack it. And we did 146 damage twice like that. So really what that boils down to is when you're a bandit, you're going to throw out... okay, here's another giant. So you're going to throw out your rune, and you're going to stun him, and then you're going to hit him, and you're going to... So you see that it went from 98 to 113. That's like almost a 15% increase in damage. And so that, in combination with also immobilizing them, and of course a bandit will always have bolas, I don't have those right now, you're going to be able to do... It's going to stack on each other. So it's 15% times the 30%. So you were talking about like 150%, maybe even more. But it's 40%. So it's actually going to be like 160, 170% extra damage because you're getting it all stacked onto each other. So this is definitely going to be the best weapon for the bandit. Let's kill a few more things just for fun. 290, 98, and that's this weapon is so good. Okay, so that's the weapon for the bandit in PvP, but in PvE, it's like it is the dagger to be. I mean, the piercing dagger, the blue piercing dagger, used to be something we would use all the time. You'd attack first, and then your team would fight it with spears. This is going to reduce their armor even more. You're going to do a lot more damage than you were. So it's just a fantastic dagger. It is the Gorgon's killer. If you're ever going to kill Gorgons as a team, you really want to try to have one of these daggers with you. It's going to make it go a lot faster. Okay, and then for our last weapon, we have the Dragon Sword, which honestly is my least favorite. I think it is the crappiest of all the blue ones. I almost wonder if it should be, of all the purples, I almost wonder if it should be a blue. It's got 55 damage, which is good. The attack speed's slow, which decreases its damage down to 45. But it does have a chance of doing 30% extra damage, which is great, but it's unreliable. You don't know for sure. So, we got 333 damage. That was pretty amazing. I think that was a critical. 333 damage. It shouldn't be, because we shouldn't be getting a critical except for 15% of the time, which is not a whole lot, but we're gonna keep checking it out. Oh, but look at that animation. 432. Okay. You can see, oh my gosh. It's a lot of damage. Okay? If you're a Thrasher and you get a sneak attack, it's gonna do pretty good damage just because all the weapons do a lot of good damage like that. The issue is if you get that critical, it's gonna be real scary, especially in combination with, as a Thrasher, you do extra damage to enemies that still have high health. So yeah, I'm still just not, the numbers aren't there. So unless we're getting criticals, sometimes Kafir has it set up to where it says, 15% of the time you're going to get a critical, and then you get criticals like a lot more than that. That's how the sharpshooter skill used to be. Oh, but look how awesome this animation is, guys. I just can't emphasize how freaking awesome this is. All right, guys, Gray Shirt Fuerza is back, and we are going to test out this new weapon. It's so different. It is so different than this video. And so we're going to go ahead and sneak up on... Nope. Let this guy attack us. Come here. One-shotted. Oh, it looks so cool. I'm so glad they did this. Okay. we're going to go ahead and kill these guys too. You see that 400 damage? That, I think, was a non-critical. Criticals are going to be rare. Let's see. 335 damage. That's weird. I feel like that was the same damage it did last time. Okay, so maybe in the video I said it was bad, but they didn't actually change anything. The numbers were just wrong. Because I'm pretty sure, okay, now I'm hoping that the guys that edit might keep it in there. So maybe if you skipped it, you thought, hey, why didn't they edit this out? Go back and watch it, because it may be that I just had all my numbers wrong. I just didn't do the math. Let's see, 140. I don't remember that number. You guys can see it in the video, but I do remember 335 and then 400 for the critical. So I think that I just didn't pay attention to the math. 436, yeah. That's a crazy amount of damage. I don't know why I didn't notice that in this video. But yeah, I don't think they actually changed this weapon. I just think that I was using outdated information, or I was just reading. I was assuming the numbers here were correct, and they weren't. So okay, so but what I said in the video was wrong when I said, oh, it's a cool sword, but we're not gonna use it a whole lot. Basically, what this means is, this sword is going to be the sword you want to use if you're a Thrasher or a Berserk. And when you hit someone, you're going to have the chance of doing, 112 damage minus their armor. That's a pretty good amount of damage. This is like what the Vranax used to be. There were people that would use the Vranax as a Berserk instead of using the Cleaver, because it had that extra damage. And so I think that what's going to happen is you're going to have this crazy damage. It's going to really help Berserks and Thrashers to hit that really hard, and it's going to make people scared of them. But then if you get that critical and that extra 30% damage, you're not going to be able to rely on it because you don't know. But if you hit it, it is going to throw off the other person, scare the crap out of them, because we're talking about the difference between, so that's 110 damage versus 100, so still 110, 140 damage. That is so much extra damage. And so if they're thinking, oh yeah, I think I'm winning, and then you get a critical, it's like, oh man, game over. So again, you can't rely on it, but the fact that it has the same DPS as the Skull Claws, I would say it makes it worth it it makes it better. And look how cool this looks. That is what I got right in the video. This thing looks so cool. I love it. Okay, so basically this is going to be the weapon that Thrashers use. You're going to see a lot of Thrashers with it. It just does the most DPS, and DPS is king in Frostborn PvP, especially solo PvP. And so you're going to see some Thrashers with it. You might even see some Berserks with it, because Berserks became out of style or out of vogue mainly because the weapon, when the Vranax got nerfed, when the weapons got nerfed, they had these other weapons. Also, people just got better at fighting against the Berserk. But I think the Berserk you might see it every once in a while, just because of that sheer amount of damage in combination with this weapon is going to be, worth considering. We'll see. That 55 extra damage. Honestly, the Thrasher's so good now that I don't know if we're going to see the Berserk. But I do love that these weapons have... I feel like they balanced the game a little bit. Okay, so they added a new bow, which is awesome, but it's not as good as the fire bow, which is good because the archers definitely don't need a better weapon than they already have. But they added a support class weapon that the archmage and these others can use that will do true damage, which basically make them competitive with the archer class in solo damage PvP. Definitely going to see some archmages being able to take on a hunter, and I think a shaman might be able to take on a hunter. I don't know. The DPS is still a lot lower, but they've, the skills, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But being able to do that true damage is going to make a pretty big difference. I'm really curious to see what it's going to do with this game, because basically they buffed warriors, which, the Thrasher was comparable, but could still have used a little bit of help. But the Berserk definitely needed help, and so that's good. It's going to add some inconsistency that I don't like. That's why I don't like weapons that you don't know if you're going to get a critical or not. But it is going to help the warrior class. The mage class didn't really need that much help, and its weapon doesn't really help it a whole lot. The bandit, I think, did need help, and it got a new weapon that is its new best weapon for the bandit, so that's kind of cool. The healer, shaman, and sorcerer, I don't know if they needed that much help, but people are nervous about using them too much, and so the fact that they got this amazing damage dealer weapon, I think is going to be really cool for the game. The only thing I'm sad about is the Ice Mage, and I feel like they gave the Ice Mage a weapon, but I don't think that it's going to be good enough to make the Ice Mage good, unless they wanted to make this Frostbolt like every 10 seconds. I don't know. There's just not. They're going to have to make the ice path bigger. They're going to have to make the burst damage stronger if the Ice Mage is going to make an appearance. And so, but if the Ice Mage does become good enough, maybe that 15%, I just don't think 15% less cooldown is going to make that big of a difference in Frostborn. I just think the skills are not powerful enough to make that big of a difference. So I think this weapon needs to be reworked, but in truth be told, it's still going to be a good purple weapon. It's not going to replace the Rastaff, which is good because the Rastaff didn't need replacing. But it's not going to be quite good enough. I don't know. They really need to rework the Ice Mage, and then maybe it would be good enough. I don't know. Well, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it was kind of in like two different time periods, but in OBT, the devs are making changes. So obviously when covering their game, we got to kind of do a little dance to make it all work. But overall, I'm excited about these weapons. We'll see how much they change the game. All right, guys. See you next time.